Hello and welcome to Bike Cleveland's Bike Smarts class. My name is Deltrice Daniels and I am the membership and outreach manager here at Bike Cleveland, where we advocate for safe streets throughout Greater Cleveland. So welcome. We are glad you are here tuning in to learn about night lights. That's what the topic is tonight. How you can stay safe and visible while you are riding your bike during the nighttime hours or even the dusk hours, any times when it's just not fully bright with the sun. So before we get started, if you have any questions, if you cannot hear anything, please let us know in the chat. I'm trying to read backwards here. Yes, self-mute yourself, or we have a very small class, so feel free if you have any questions to unmute yourself. You can raise your hand. You can also use the reactions that's at the bottom to wave or say hi or anything like that. We have with us today on the back end assisting this class is Executive Director Jacob Van Sickle of Bike Cleveland. So if you have any other questions in the chat, he'll be watching out for the chat and can help you that way. But we are so glad you are here to learn about bicycle safety and how you can stay visible at night. And I hope that you have been staying safe during this time and riding your bike. Before we get started, let me launch a quick poll to see okay, I can't launch the quick poll right now because technology is so much fun. But if you rode your bike today, go ahead and use the emojis and you can raise your hand or do the wave. If you rode your bike today, that would be great. I can't raise my hand. I did not ride my bike today. If you rode your bike this month, that's another question I usually do say. Raise your hand. I can raise my hand because I have rode my bike this month. So let me make sure that we are on track. Yes. Now, if you've never heard of Bike Cleveland, we are your Northeast Ohio's bicycle advocacy organization. Anytime this conversation turns to bikes, we would like to be in the conversation so that we can advocate on everyone's behalf. And I say everyone, not just bicycles, or primarily bicycles, but however, like people who are using the roadways. So pedestrians, they're using the sidewalks, motorists, they're using the cars. We all should be using the public roadways together. And so that's what our mission here at Bike Cleveland is, to ensure that everyone can use the public roadway safety. Sometimes that does involve, not sometimes, really all the time that involves advocacy, but also it involves education. So that's where we are here today. Bike Smarts is a monthly educational series where we break down the different topics on bicycle education and we present them to you. All right, so hopefully your goal today is to learn how you can stay safe and visible while you are riding your bike. And so sometimes I will reference back, Bike Cleveland has this nice handy dandy full color, yes, full color. How many pages? 20 something or so pages of bicycle information for right here in Cleveland. If you don't have a physical copy of this guide, you can also download the PDF version, which is on our website, but we do have lots of these guides available. So if you'd like to have one, give us a call and we'll give you one. If you like several of them or a couple of them to give to a group of students or anybody who could benefit from this, give us a call and we'll be glad to give some bicycle guides to you and your organization. Bike Cleveland is a nonprofit advocacy organization. I've said that a few times, and there are many advocacy organizations around the United States of America, and we're all up underneath the umbrella of the League of American Bicyclists, and that is the main overarching organization that, I don't want to use the word governs, but they just help guide between bicycle shops, bicycle users, people, licensed cycling instructors such as myself and Jacob. And they have this nice handy guide called Smart Cycling. It's a Smart Cycling manual. So this is something that you can also look into, and it has a whole bunch of tips and resources and guides that you can learn from. So that is enough about the paperwork. Now let's get into what you came here for, which is what do I need so that I can ride my bike safely? And so I have a whole bunch of items over here that I will share with you. And first I want to share a quick story with you. When I started riding my bike, I didn't have no lights, period. Not a front light, not a back light. All I had on the bike that came standard on the bike is the reflectors, which a bike will come with a white reflector in the front and a red reflector in the back. And maybe some wheel spokes too. This is all you have on the bicycle. Just like cars, though, they come with turn signals. Bikes, unfortunately, don't have turn signals. So you have to create your own turn signals and create your own lighting for the bicycle, because this is just not enough. This is only going to bounce off the light from other people. You want to create your own light. And so in the beginning, when I first started riding bikes, because bikes are expensive and you just getting into it and you may not have all the monies or funds to start investing in all those things. So you go purchase yourself a bike, and yeah, a bicycle light would be the furthest thing from your mind. So what I did, a flashlight and some zip ties. They're not really zip ties. They're, I don't know what they are, what they really are. But I constructed this on the front of my handlebars. Just got to do what you got to do, because I knew that I needed some lights, but I didn't know that I actually need bicycle lights. I didn't know the difference. Well, there is a difference, because this is for one, it's better than nothing for sure, but it's just not going to be bright enough for you. And it's just not a bike light. And so it's a flashlight. So you want to invest in some bicycle specific items. You can start slow, but the first bicycle specific items you need is a helmet. We always encourage you to ride a bicycle with a helmet. You only have one brain. But they say you only receive one brain. Maybe you have multiple brains, but for the majority of us, we only have one brain, and it's important to protect that brain at all costs, right? So now this, I can do double duty, because dun, 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 it actually is going to, okay, and maybe you can't see too much, but it's a front light and it's a rear light. Look at there. So now I have a helmet to protect my head, and now I have lights, which is much an upgrade from the reflectors. Now, the fancy thing about this type of helmet is it actually has turn signals as well. It is pretty fancy, because I can mount this on my handlebar and I can use the turn signals. Of course, you can see left and right, or you can also use the app, because of course it is 2020 and almost everything have an app nowadays. So you can download the app on your Apple device or your Android device, and then use the app on the phone to use the turn signals. Now, me personally, this is just a bit too much for me. So I don't use the turn signals anymore. I just use my hands to turn. I'm going to go to the right, I'm turning to the right. I'm going to turn to the left. I use my hand to turn to the left, but at least I have light. So this is the first order of protection, and you're already doing two things with one thing. You have a helmet and you have lights. So that's the first. Now, keep them up with the helmet. I'm going to go from the top all the way down and onto the bike. Now, this is another thing you can use. This does not have lights, but it does have reflectivity on it. And so, again, this is something that's going to double duty. If it's raining, then I am going to put this on to cover and not get wet. And then 9 times out of 10, when it is raining, it's now dark. So again, you want to be reflective at all times, when it's raining, when it's actually night, when it's before the sunrise, and shortly before the sunset. You want to be visible on all times. So this is another thing. So even if you don't have a helmet with fancy integrated lights, you can make one by getting a cover with a reflective item on it, or you can also, this is another thing, before I actually got bicycle lights, again, some light is better than no light. So again, I have a helmet here on the top of my head that I can use for lights. Be extra cautious, even when I'm wearing this helmet too, that now you get off your bike and you maybe go to the destination of the bike ride. So now you have your light, now you're talking to your friends. So just be careful about that, because now you're blinding them with the light right there as you're talking to your friends. So remember to turn it off. So that is helmets and that. And now I've seen this at Lowe's recently. When you are riding your bike, you want to be visible at all times when you're riding. You can wear anything that you want, any type of clothing that you want. However, the bright fluorescent clothing is just a little bit more visible than wearing all black or all navy blue or hunter green, stuff like that. So this is something, it's a balaclava kind of, it's a buff, it's a neck gaiter, whatever you really like to call it. It is bright. This one particularly is reversible. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, like I said, I saw this at Lowe's, is because they had a reflective stripe going right down here. And I said, oh, that was amazing. It was a bit out of my price range because I have lots of stuff here, but however, if that's something you could invest in and you may get multiple uses out of it, that's something you can look up into, finding a neck gaiter or a balaclava or something like that, again, with the double duty, so that you can get multiple uses out of it. So that is the helmet, the head, the light, stuff like that. Now, next thing you can get into is your actual clothing that you can wear. So what I want to show you right now is a specific bicycle jersey. This is a long sleeve bicycle jersey. You can tell it's a bicycle jersey because of the pocket in the back right there. But what else you can see is the reflectivity right there. It's a small little design on this shirt right here, but look into when you are purchasing your clothing, if you can ride your bike, a lot of times they may even have like the piping, it's called the piping or the stripes into the seams already built in with the reflective gear. So you can be reflective without even having to add extra stuff. Or you can always like actually put more reflective items onto yourself. This is a reflective pin, and this is made by Po Campo. It is a woman-owned bicycle brand who specializes in shirts, clothing, gear, and also bags, purses, specifically for your bicycle. So this is kind of nice that you can wear more stuff on you. And speaking of actually wearing more stuff, this is something, again, you can make your own if you would like. If you're handy with the sewing machine or handy with any type of creative outlet, you can make your own clothing with your own reflective tape. As they have here, they just put the tape on anywhere you need to. There's a bicycle right there, because that's what we're talking about, bicycle safety. And I always find these items like this in the camping section of the store or in the men's section of the store. So ladies, if you're watching this, do not be afraid to go over in the men's section of the store, and specifically like maybe Marshalls or TJ Maxx. Those are like the same company almost. You definitely will find the bicycle gear in the men's section. I don't know why they think that us women don't ride bikes, but we do. So you can go find extra stuff in the men's section. Still on the clothing. Now this is something that I really like. It is a Provitz, it's one of the brands, and it is a 360 reflective jacket. And it says it right down there, 360 reflective, because 360 all the way around, this is reflective. When you are riding your bike and it is dark and you are riding your bike with this jacket, vehicles do not know what to make of you. They think you may be an alien because you are, bing, you are bright. You are definitely being seen on the bike with this 360 jacket. So that's something you can look into. We got your helmet covering up your head, and you can get reflective on there. Get your extra items if you need to. Get your clothing with piping in it. Now, if you don't have the clothing, because as you know, cycling gear, specific cycling gear can get pretty pricey, and maybe you just don't have the budget for it right now. A good old, call it a safety vest. A good old safety vest will never steer you wrong. You can pick these up at you can almost pick these up anywhere, honestly, at your local department store, at your local construction store, at your local, maybe even Five Below. You can pick these up. And of course, you can pick these up online. The thing with these safety vests, they're great as long as they're worn properly. And I say about worn properly is you have your items, your gear, your book bag, and particularly, you want to put your book bag on first, then put your safety vest on so it can be over your book bag. I see this often as people are riding in the nighttime. And I get it. You put it on your clothes. This is a clothing article. You're putting on your clothing, and then you put your book back on. However, when you do that and you put this on and then you put your book back on, you are covering up the reflectivity of the item. So you're kind of defeating the purpose of wearing the safety vest. So I would definitely, I got something in the pocket. Hopefully it's money. It's not money. It was a route. Don't you love it when you look into your old clothing and you actually find money? Now, if yellow is not your color, of course, they always have orange. This is a really nice safety vest. Is actually adjustable. So as I mentioned about, you want to make sure that you put your safety vest over your book bag. This is so adjustable that you can take this off and you can either place it at the end right here on both sides, so that is really wide if you just happen to have all those items, which that's quite all right. You do you. And this one doesn't have any pockets, but you choose everything. You choose what you would like to choose to make sure you're safe and visible. So these are two options. And wait, but I have a third option as far as safety vests, because that's what those are called. I call those safety vests. Now this is a brand, is called Verspatine out of New York. And they make they specialize in the reflective safety gear, as far as even a whole jacket you can have that has reflectivity in it. And now I had to adjust this because this is a lot of these items are one size fits most or one size fits all. And so this was a little bit bigger. And so what I did is I just took it in. I used good old duct tape on the inside to kind of pleat it on the inside. But this is another safety vest. And I like it because, of course, I'm a girl. You can see that. And it's pink, not yellow, not orange. But again, it is, you can just put it over and It's kind of nice. Now also I have in here, as I mentioned about this reflective tape right here, this is another reflective tape. And this reflective tape I purchased from Target. I know I purchased this from Target. And you know, it's a design with checkers. So it's pretty cool, but this is reflective tape. So you can take it off the roll, cut it up, and put it wherever you need to put it at. And so for me, because I made this a little bit smaller, I put the tape right there. So I got piping right here and piping right here. So as you see, when I first showed it, this kind of goes into its pocket, goes into a pouch by itself. So it's kind of nice to do that. And as you see, the strings are also reflective too. So that is clothing right there. You got what you have on your head, what you have on your body. You can have things on your wrist when you are riding. Shout out to Cleveland Public Power for these handy dandy lights. I don't know if you can see. If you could, yeah, I don't know if you can see too much. But again, no lights. Some lights is better than no lights. So take advantage when the economy and when everything opens back up. So there's festivals and stuff like that, to take advantage of these items that maybe companies are giving out for lights, and you can use them. You can put them on your bike and put them on your person. You can light yourself up like a Christmas tree. That's what I call it, lighting it up as a Christmas tree. Again, taking advantage of different organizations that perhaps have lights to give out. This is from Bike Ped Education. They specialize in bicycle pedestrian education and really specialize in bicycle pedestrian education for our youth, because our youth is our future. And as long as they are growing up, knowing from right from wrong, they will continue along that path. And so take advantage sometimes of picking up some lights when organizations have lights to give out. Or like I said all the time, these are more lights that organizations, they give out lights and you can use them. Our organization, Bike Cleveland, does give out lights as well. And I'll mention that later on at the end of this, of what we do and how you can get involved with that. All right, so, and also, these I picked up from the Dollar Tree. I am a Dollar Tree queen because guess what? Everything costs $1. So these are, remember the slap wrists back in the days where you could just slap your wrist quickly? I mean, you can put these on your wrist, you can put these on your ankles. And again, you have some reflectivity when you are riding your bike. You just want to be visible and seen. Okay, so now speaking of being visible and being seen, I also want to mention to you, some people will use mirrors, and they can use mirrors, and it's quite all right, because then you can have a streamlined vision. I'm gonna pretend like I'm riding my bike and this is my handlebars right here. So now this is on the left side of my handlebar. So now I can see what is behind me right here. So having some mirrors, and this is a mirror that you will put on this side. Yes, on this side of your helmet. Maybe you can put it on this. Yeah, you do put it on this side. This camera on this messing me up. You do put it on this side because you want to see over your shoulder. Remember, when you're riding your bike to the right of the road as practical. So you are over onto the right. And so that means everyone is going to be passing you onto the left. So you want to see what's passing you on the left. So that's why this mirror is up here. I don't use a mirror, as you see, this should be on my helmet. I personally have not grasped how I can see out the little mirror while I can see in the back. That's just me. Everyone is different. This may work for you so that you can see. Again, when you are able to see what's behind you, then you can make plans to do what you need to do. For example, if you just see a car and you don't feel it's safe, you can move over. Or when it's time to change lanes too, of course, you definitely need to see. Now you can also, as you can always do, just make sure you turn back and look back and make sure you can physically see what's behind you before you change lanes. So these are two other options that you can also use when you are riding your bicycle so that you can be seen and be visible, is using some mirrors on your bicycle or on your bicycle itself or on your person, such as being on your helmet. Okay, and what else I got? Now, I think I got to the point of everything that's on you. No, I didn't, because I didn't get to the shoes yet. Get down to the feet. Well, and pants first. I don't want to skip over the pants. Please wear pants when you're riding your bike. Please wear shorts. And some shorts and some pants will have, again, piping, reflective piping in it, especially around the zipper. So I don't have any of that to show you because it's just pretty self-explanatory. Cycling pants and cycling shorts may pretty much already have that piping in it. So just like it's just built in on the back of here, it'll be the same idea, just built into the zipper of your cycling pants or your shorts. So, but please wear shorts when you're riding your bike. Okay, so we got that. Now we're going to get down to the shoes. Now this is something that some people use it when they're running, and some people don't. I don't know, you can use it when you're riding your bike, but these will go on the back of your heel. And they just change on the side. You just push the button. So of course you can either have it solid or blinking. Same thing for here. And so you can have them too on the back of your shoes. Again, you want to be visible and seen as much as possible. And now I say that I do normally see these with runners, but it doesn't mean that you cannot use it from the bike. There's a lot of cross sports items, from skiing to rowing to running to cycling. It's all activities. It's all physical activities. So if it may work for running, it could work for cycling and vice versa. So this is one of these things also about having them on the bottom of your feet, not on the bottom, but on your heel. And again, you are being visible. Because for one thing, your shoes, your feet, your legs, your knees, they are definitely moving. And so anything that's moving is going to catch the attention of the motorist. Like, what is going on? There's something moving, versus your hands not really moving because it's just right there. But your legs are definitely moving. So having items on your feet or on your ankles, such as a ankle leg cuff. So this can, again, with the dual purpose, if you are wearing pants, I hope so. If you are wearing long pants, and you definitely do not want to get the leg of your pants caught into your chain. So this is what this will be for. You will cuff up your right leg, because that's the right side, onto your bicycle chain, and you would just cinch it so that it's not going to get caught in your chain. And while it's not going to get caught in your chain, it's also reflective, because why not? Why not do two things at the same time? And then it's on your ankle. Again, it's another moving object on your body. So it can alert the motorist that, hey, something's moving. What is it? It's a cyclist. What did I show you before? I showed you a light from the Cleveland Public Power, and now I want to show you some shoelaces from the Cleveland Water Department. Don't you just love Cleveland? I know I do. So this is some reflective laces. You don't need to wear cycling shoes when you are riding your bike, and cycling shoes could involve shoes that actually clip in to your pedal. You don't need to do all that. You can just wear regular shoes, any type of shoes. I do suggest that you wear closed-toe shoes, because you're just out there, it's a physical activity, and you just want to make sure your feet are covered. So I would recommend wearing closed-toe shoes, but however, you can wear whatever shoes you really want to wear if you like to. And if you are wearing tennis shoes, handy dandy shoelaces with reflectivity piping in it. I don't know if you can really see it. Oh, you can see the silver. See, that's the reflectivity. So much fun, and for free. All right, so I think that is about the bike, all that you can do for now that I have to show you on the table as far as you and your person. Wearing a helmet first and foremost to cover your head. You can get a helmet with lights integrated in it. So now you have lights right there. You can get a cover so you have reflectivity right there. You can, as the weather is getting colder or what have you, or of course we are still in a pandemic, use a buff or balaclava with reflective piping in it. You can, again, make sure you have some extra added piping, reflectivity stuff. Invest in clothing with built-in piping in it. Invest in clothing which is all the way reflective, and of course wear a safety vest over your personal book bag or items. Now also, if you are handy with the sewing machine, I have done this in the past. Now, you know, when you're riding your bike, you can find all types of stuff. It's like a treasure hunt because stuff just falls off of out of people's cars, out of trucks, or off of their bicycle, and it's just in the middle of the road. So sometimes I have in the past picked up, that I've seen, these construction vests because it's laying on the side of the road. So I'm helping to clean up the environment. But what I've done is I've taken it apart because, of course, I don't want to wear the safety vest that's been on the ground, that's been all gross. If it's super gross, I'm definitely not picking it up. But you can see if something's really gross on the ground or not. And so, but I have pick those up off the ground to help the environment, clean up the environment. But then I have taken apart the piping from the safety vests and sewed them or put them on other items. So you can always make something if you are handy with the sewing machine or your crafting abilities to make your own reflective stuff. If you have something that was reflective that you don't want anymore. Now, invisible, here in the state of Ohio, we really don't encourage the use of whistles because they wanted to really leave that sound for law enforcement. So we encourage you to use your voice or use a bell or a bell on your bike or a horn on your bike, but just not a whistle. But if you just need, some people still, they feel comfortable with the whistle. They just do. So I'm bringing this up because, again, this has a whistle, but it also, again, has the piping around the lanyard. So if you're riding your bike in the nighttime, you just don't feel comfortable with not having a whistle because some neighborhoods could be sketchy or whatever, and you may just feel comfortable with a whistle. You can yell out really fast, but just keep in mind that really whistles are for law enforcement. But again, there you go. You can wear the whistle. You can wear this, and this piping reflectivity is in there. All right. So I think that's what I have for you as the person. And now I did mention that when you purchase a bicycle, you really only have these three items: front, rear, and wheel reflectors. But you can add more onto your bicycle if you would like. So, and I will show you some things that I have here. Now, this is okay, I'm covering up my hand. This is a seat post flag. So you can add it to your seat post, or you can add it to, if you have a rack on the back of your wheel, on the back of your bike, and somehow attach it. Obviously, I have not attached it to my bike because it's in my hand, but I use it for demonstration purposes. But this is nice. It can stick out. Here in Ohio, we do have the 3-foot passing law, so that it is required for all motor vehicles to give at least 3 foot of passing space when you are passing a cyclist. So I didn't measure this. I didn't measure this right now. I don't really think this is 3 feet right now. I'm not good with, I don't know. Anyways, this will stick out, right, from your bicycle. So this is something that you can invest in. finding items. You can find them at bicycle shops. You can find them online. You can find them at trade shows or whatever. That is one thing you can invest in. Now, here's something else that you can invest in if you would like. This is called bar end lights. So if you have a straight handlebar, such as a mountain bike or a hybrid bicycle, because those are the straight handlebars, then this is something that could be of useful to you because they stick out right at the end of the bar end. And so you put your batteries in, and there you go. You can have some extra lights on the end of your bars. You can also put some, now the young children probably really would like this, but we're all kids at heart, correct? So we might still all like this too. But these are some wheel spoke reflectors. You can put these onto the spokes of your wheel, and as you're riding, you know, the lights will hit it, and it's just going to be pretty while you're riding your bike. So there's different colors. It's something you can invest in. And as you see, I do not have none on my bike because they're in my hand. Now, here's another thing that you can pick up, which is some about to say motorized, battery operated lights in different colors, so that you can, this one, they put the light right there and it shines down. Just again, light, any type of light that is specific for bicycles is good, but as you can see, just be visible. Put some lights on your person, put some lights on your bike, and be visible as much as you can. Now, if you happen to need to carry items on your bike, you're a commuter, you went grocery shopping, for whatever reason, you just need to carry stuff on your bike. Again, a lot of the items that the manufacturers do, okay, this says Schwinn, but a lot of the manufacturers already put the piping in it. So this is a front handlebar bag. So it's going to go on the front of the handlebar, on the front of it'll fit perfectly on the front of a straight bar handlebar, such as a hybrid or a mountain bike, or a 29er too, something like that. It might fit on the road bike. However, what I find is that most of the time, if you're riding on the road bike, you're really not carrying anything when you're on a road bike, because you're just not carrying anything. But you could be. I don't want to make too much generalizations, but generally on a road bike, you're just not carrying that much stuff. But if you're on a hybrid, that could be your main commuter bike. And so again, they put the stuff, they already built in the reflectivity and the piping in it. And of course, this is directly right on the front of the bag, because as the cars are coming and the lights from the cars are coming and hitting it, there it is, it's going off. And one final thing, again, as I mentioned, the dollar store is one of my favorite stores because everything costs $1. And before, as I mentioned too, my story of using a flashlight and some type of these twist ties on the front of my bicycle for a front light. Now, after I learned that you really want to invest in a real bicycle light, but then I still want to decorate my bike for fun times. You can go on themed bicycle rides and just night bicycle rides and just really have a good time. So you might want to deck out your bike a little bit more. So these are some from the Dollar Tree, some twinkle lights, battery operated, that you could wrap around perhaps the frame of your bicycle, kind of configure it, wrap it around the handlebar if you need to through the frame. If you're really careful, you can even wrap it through the wheel and the spokes. Just whenever you're doing any type of DIYing on your bike, make sure that it's not gonna mess up and get in the way of actually rolling. So nothing's gonna stick into the bike, nothing's gonna stick into the chain, the bike, nothing's gonna stick into the wheels or the spokes, so that as you're rolling, you don't want stuff to be in the way, and it's gonna restrict you from riding your bike, and then it's gonna cause any injury. So you wanna make sure to make, check all your accessories on your bike before you go riding, in addition to doing your ABC quick check before you ride. Also, let me see if the, oh, this does turn on. All right, now this is just for fun. I've also seen they make gloves with integrated lights. I actually seen a real person ride their bike with the gloves that had the integrated lights on, so that was fun. So this is just a little one. Again, this is just for fun stuff when you're doing those theme and fun type of rides. Just want to have extra lights. Oh, it even goes off. You can't really see it. I'm sorry, because it's too light in here. But in a nutshell, what you want to do is be visible. You want to have the minimum requirements is a white light in the front and a red light in the rear. And there are specific, the word is called lumens. It's the degree of brightness for lights. And there is a certain number of lumens that, I don't want to say it's required or the minimum, but it's obviously brighter than this because you want to make sure you're visible. So make sure that you have lights on your person, lights on your bike, lights all the way around. And I would say no light is not too little because you want to be visible. I also want to also mention that when you do have your lights, some people will have 2 lights in the nighttime. And the reason why they will have 2 is they will have, I'm going to pretend like this is an imaginary handlebar right here. They want 2 lights in the nighttime, one to be seen and one to see. We are here in Greater Cleveland, Ohio, where our road infrastructure is not the best. So there are potholes and debris and broken glass and just all types of not good stuff in the roadway. And in the daytime, you can see this. In the nighttime, not so much. So if you have 2 lights on your bike, you would have a light so you can be seen. So that one is perhaps pointing straight so that you can be seen. And then another bicycle that maybe is pointing down to the ground so that you can see the ground. And if you don't have a lot of space anymore on your handlebar, because you know the handlebar is only so big, and by the time you put your lights on, by the time you may have a phone mount for your phone device, what else you might have? You might have the device for your helmet to switch the controls back and forth. Whatever reason you have on your handlebar, most of us know that the real estate on your handlebar is not that much. You can only go so much. So use the front of your fork. You can also put your bicycle light on the front of your fork because that's the front. You can be seen, and you just would bend down a little bit, turn it on, turn it off, but it's quite all right to use the front of your fork to shine your lights into ahead of you. Now, on the last final note, as I mentioned, that we've been talking about lights and to get lights. And so we do have a program, an initiative that we do here at Bike Cleveland is called Random Acts of Brightness, where what we do is we have bicycle lights, front and rear, because we need to give both of the lights to individuals. Because we find that like me, myself, I was one of those people. You buy a bike and a light is the furthest thing from your mind. Like, I don't need this, but you really do need it. You just don't know. And bicycle lights can get pretty pricey. As I mentioned, in different lumens that the bicycle lights shine. And you got battery operated, you got USB operated, you got all types of bells and whistles. And it just can be a financial burden for someone who just don't have it. So we have an initiative called Random Acts of Brightness, where we go out, this was pre-COVID, of course, go out and give bicycle lights to riders who are riding their bike unlit. They have no lights and they're riding, and people do that every day. And so we just want to make sure that everyone is safe and educate people as we are doing our mission here with Bike Cleveland. And so we have these lights. We are a nonprofit organization, but we also a member-based organization. And so some of the things that we do that we purchase is bicycle lights so that we can give them out to people for free. We also give them a little bit of education, but we give people lights out for free. So if you are, and we also have, people have also called us. So even if we are not actually in a group to go out and ride bicycles and give them out, don't be afraid if you are without a bicycle light to give us a call and we can arrange together so you can have a bicycle light, because we want to make sure that you are visible and bright out there as you are riding your bike and going from point A to point B, or just riding your bike for pleasure. I believe that that is all I have right now as far as bicycle lights and being safe and visible. If there's any questions, now is the time to share them. Where am I trying to go? Oh, I was going to the chat box to see. Okay, no chat, that's okay. Going to the chat box. All right. So, oh, thank you. Okay, I had to change screens here so I could see. Thank you for your reaction there. If you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and unmute yourself and share any questions or any feedback, or maybe also if there's anything that you have helped you in riding your bicycle. We will greatly appreciate it. Now, I would like to end this session with reminding you with 5 tips as you are riding your bike. Follow the law, because we are bicyclists. However, we are also road users. So stop signs, stop lights, yes, follow the law. 2, be predictable. So one of the things about being unpredictable, you just learned about it tonight, being equipped with the things that you need. So with lights and your helmet, right? Being predictable. Also, with being predictable, when you are riding in the lane to the right, as far right as practicable. However, if there is debris, if there is parked cars, if there is glass, by all means, do not ride over that. Make sure that you go and make sure it's safe. It is okay to take the lane in the state of Ohio. Number 3, be conspicuous. Just means, again, as we talk about, having lights and having yourself ready to ride your bike. Think ahead. As you are thinking ahead, as I mentioned, here it is. As you need to change lanes, that's thinking ahead. So you're riding your bike and you're getting up to your intersection and you need to turn left, thinking ahead. You just like you're driving a vehicle, you just can't wait till the last minute and try to cross over 3 lanes or 2 lanes of traffic. So that means thinking ahead. But I understand how that could be scary. So again, crossing over multiple lanes of traffic to turn left. So you can always remember you can go through the intersection, kind of turn around and pivot yourself. It's called a Copenhagen left. Go through the intersection so you can get at that corner, and then you can kind of pivot yourself so you can be ready to then go straight from that angle, because it's like you turned left, but you didn't turn left, if you know what I mean, okay? And then the final thing is ride ready. So when you're riding your bike, to be ready, make sure you do your ABC quick check. A is for air, B is for brake, C is for chain and contact points. And make sure you do an overall check before you go ride your bike, because some of those things, if you get a flat tire or something like that, they can be prevented before you go out and ride if you do that ABC quick check before. And that is what I have for you today. What we have for you today, we hope that this has been enjoyable. We hope this has been educational for you. We hope this has been enlightening for you. By all means, please share this information with your friends and families if they will find to be interested in this information, riding bikes, and how they can stay lit and visible as they're riding their bikes. And that's all I have for you today. Until next time, have a good evening, and that's it. Bye-bye.